Why do you think he's American? It's the One More and I'm Out of Here podcast coming to you from the One More and I'm Out of Here studios. I'm Dan Carroll. Oh, it's like I was pulling out the drama on that one. We got Pappas over here, Kiefer over here. Have you guys heard about all the complaints from liberals about gasoline prices? Have you heard about this?
I have not.
So they're complaining because they're saying that, buying gasoline during the Biden administration was just so much better than getting gasoline under the Trump administration.
I figured that's where
I think it was Ocasio-Cortez who led the charge on this, but she complained the other day that during the Biden administration, she was able to put like $100 worth of gasoline in her car, and under Trump, she can only get like 50 or 60 in there.
It's all the shit that she spilled out on the ground that the EPA had to come fucking clean up.
So you can see it was better under Biden.
Yeah,
you could get a lot more, pay a lot more $100 worth of gasoline in your Tesla than you probably can't put that much in there now.
I got a Carhartt on too. Good. I got a man shirt on.
Oh God. So, one of the things that we have talked about, and I'm sending you the Eric Swallow as well.
I love that guy.
Video.
I really hate that guy.
He's a fucking crap weasel.
What was her name?
Fang.
Fang. I always want to say Ting Ting.
No, it's not Ting Ting. It was Fang.
I feel like it just rolls off.
What if somebody with any amount of what's the word I'm looking for? Any amount of decency would have just disappeared from public view. This guy, a Democrat, it's like, hey, I was banging a Chinese spy and I was compromised by a Chinese spy. Let's just call it what it is.
Yeah.
And it's like a resume enhancement. I mean, seriously, he is a prick. I've always thought he was a prick. He's a crap weasel, like you said. And you know what? He's probably going to be the next government of a
do you think he's going to be the governor of California?
I think there's a pretty good chance.
But he's going to run for governor. We'll get back to Swallow as well here in a little bit. But one of the things that we have talked about a lot on this podcast is the left in this country and how they love violence.
Yes.
They're okay with Trump getting shot at.
Yes.
They're okay with all sorts of violence on the streets. They're okay with people aiming their cars at ICE agents, federal agents.
Absolutely.
Things like that. They're okay with looting and violence and storefronts being burned out and police cars being knocked over and upended and all the rest of that.
That's right.
And it's starting up once these things go. It's like they tend to go into cycles. Like we heard all this complaining about the Epstein files, and the narrative now is that Trump is a pedophile, and they keep talking about this. But of course, the latest batch of documents that come out on Epstein show that Trump was the one who
reported him,
the first one to call police in West Palm Beach when he found out what Epstein was up to.
That's right.
So the left now is ginning up all the violent rhetoric again, as demonstrated by this awful. Do you know what awful stands for? The acronym? Can you?
Another white liberal.
No, affluent.
Oh, affluent.
White
liberal. Female.
AWF female.
What's the
U urban liberal.
Urban liberal.
Yeah.
I had no idea until you said.
Well, no, I've heard that, and I will concur that we have I wouldn't say a lot, but we have a core group, especially here in Anderson Township, of awful women.
Absolutely. So let's listen to the latest offerings.
I don't know how affluent they are.
From our friends on the left here.
We deserve every fucking terrible thing that continues to happen because we continue to not stop it. Plain and simple. And I have set out a deadline for myself where if we are not going to be wheeling out guillotines, I am punching my ticket because I refuse to live like this anymore. And I refuse to live like this surrounded by so many goddamn cowards that can make excuse after excuse after excuse.
Where's the 9-volt battery when you need it?
I will not do this anymore. So
Okay.
we'll see what happens in that window of time. But I think that we deserve every horrific thing that continues to happen to us every single day that passes, that we do fucking nothing to stop it.
So there you go. I really don't think you can get much clearer than that. She wants to start wheeling out the guillotines and start chopping off heads.
I'm sorry. Whenever someone has that nose thing, I can't really pay attention to them because it's just very distracting. So what did she say?
She said she's upset because the Democrats and the libtards are getting beat at every corner, at every impasse, at every intersection.
She cannot stand for this anymore.
She wants guillotines to be wheeled out.
She's saying it's time to ratchet up the violence.
Oh,
is what she is saying.
You know
who else is saying that?
Someone in Congress?
Ilhan Omar.
Imagine that.
Here we go. Ilhan Omar. This was on her X feed. Most recently, the leader of what they call the Pedophile Protection Party.
No.
So that's how they refer to Trump and the Republicans now.
Yeah.
Is trying to deflect from his name being all over the Epstein files. Maybe she hasn't read the latest.
She can't read
on the Epstein files.
She's not a reader.
Here's what Ilhan Omar writes. At least in Somalia, they execute pedophiles, not elect them.
That's pretty bold.
Does that call for maybe a visit from the Secret Service?
I would visit her, but
does it?
I wouldn't want to visit her in my current capacity. But if I was a Secret Service agent, I think that would call for a visit. What did you mean by this? Blah 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 blah.
So you can say that.
Where did she say it though?
And then
she put it on her social media feed.
Okay, there's a reason I asked.
And there.
And then on the other end, Somalia passes voter registration.
Yeah.
They've got you actually have to show ID.
Yeah.
But we're okay with not doing that. But she can say that, but she's not okay with it here.
Well, I wondered if
Weird.
You did say she put the tweet out, but had she said it, if she was smart, and that gets back to your original point, if she had said it on the floor of Congress, elected officials, congressmen, can say anything.
Yeah, you can't be held responsible
on the floor of the Congress, and you can say anything you want. I mean anything. But outside
we try to do that on this podcast. Sometimes, occasionally, we get hit.
We do. But I mean, they could be slander. They could flat out lie. They can do anything they want. They're not held responsible on the floor of the House. Outside of that, it's a little bit different.
So I just want 513 to understand this. The other thing,
the whole area code, or just one specific person.
Well, we did one specific person.
Okay.
we talk about what the left does, and we just gave two clear examples,
absolutely,
of how the left is calling for violence.
And he'll say, "What, January 6th? January 6th."
Yeah. Well,
the typical leftist response. So Trump's been in office for a year, plus.
A year plus.
And January 6th, and let's be fair, I said don't break laws, but January 6th was one day,
a few hours
before Joe Biden assumed office. Is that correct?
Yes.
Yep.
How long has the left been having an absolute shit fit without no signs of it slowing and or stopping?
5+ years.
Well, that's right, 5+ years. So please, let's get back to let's compare apples to apples. And you want to know something else? Have you noticed?
Why am I not shocked you're going to tell us?
Well, no. Have you noticed what has been happening in Minnesota?
The sizzles come off the steak as far as the protestations are concerned.
And why?
Do they still have the barricades up? Do they still
no,
have
you know what's
the border
happening?
blockades?
No, they're law and order by the Minnesota police and the state police is being enforced now.
Yeah.
So that ICE doesn't have to bring a bunch of extra agents to do the job that the police should be doing in the first place. So now ICE is still there with fewer people, but they're
Yeah.
doing just as much, if not more, than they were doing before because the police are assisting them and have their back and are maintaining law and order.
I would like to see.
Speaking of Minnesota,
yeah, I threw your picture up.
yeah, look at that.
I would like to see the payroll records.
Oh yeah, for Ilan Omar.
Well, no, for the Minneapolis Police Department, the city of Minneapolis. Well, all the ICE agents were there and the cops weren't doing shit. And I'm not faulting the police officers. They were given orders. Hey, you're not doing this.
Versus now,
But now,
how much overtime they're getting?
yeah.
and everything else?
Take last month versus this month and see how many overtime hours, because it's overtime.
That's public records. You can find that out.
Well, according to what I read, the by and large, the police officers in Minneapolis wanted to assist these federal agents.
Most of them walked out.
Had to obey orders when they were told not to.
Yeah, that story on Ilan Omar's attacker with the apple cider vinegar, which is deadly.
The salad dressing.
That's right.
The salad dressing attacker.
She says nasty stuff. There's like we talked
Good thing
about.
it wasn't Catalina. That stuff stains.
Yeah, it does. That dressing is terrible.
Yeah. You don't want to fuck up. You don't want to fuck up that was Hajib.
That story has gone pretty cold pretty quick.
Yeah, it's been radio silence since that happened.
Yeah, well, she needed her little bump in sympathy, and then she got it. Maybe not from me.
Did
but
Rachel
from
Maddow do a deep dive on that? By the way,
I
did
don't
she
know
connect all the
I don't
dots?
know who Rachel Maddow's deep diving on these days.
She's diving on something.
We dive at 5.
She is diving on something. There's no doubt about that. She's a diver, just a different kind of diver.
God love her though for that.
I mean, hey, to each their own.
And our buddy Falk says, "Who wants to toss her salad? Apple cider vinegar. Oh my God, so bad." But yeah, completely went radio silent. You didn't hear shit about it. Then all of a sudden, more Epstein shit comes out. It's we've said it before. Hey, don't look at this hand. Look at the hand over here. Don't worry about what's happening. And that's what the fucking media is doing.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. Oh, well, hopefully some, what do you think? It'll be a 24-year-old reporter might break a story on that, because the news media obviously doesn't want to follow up on that because they know what they're going to find.
Oh, absolutely.
Did you see I didn't send it to you, but did you see the little query or information like chart that showed how many stories Apple News shared versus conservative versus liberal?
Oh no, I did not see that.
It's extremely lopsided.
It was extremely lopsided is an understatement.
Yeah.
So there were like 0 conservative stories and like 600 and something liberal stories. And
well, you're going through the same thing, and we already talked about it, but the ratings of the viewers of the Bad Bunny halftime show versus the Turning Point. You're never going to get a good answer. And there's been a group family text regarding the whole Bad Bunny thing, just, internally. And it's funny. I found one snippet that showed a number, and I went back to fact check it. And I was like, hey, just so you guys are aware, this is what the media is going to tell you, but it's not true.
No, God forbid you fact check.
And you try to fact check it in 4 or 5 different,
correct.
And you can't find a good answer.
No, you can't. And that's sad. And especially.
But somebody's going to grab it off social media and be like, "Oh my God, look at this number."
Oh my God.
And I'm not saying for or against. I'm just saying, like, the numbers are so skewed, and we're probably never going to see it. And we brought it up earlier in another podcast. Like, I want to see the numbers, but we're never going to see the actual numbers.
Nope.
Which sucks.
Apple's popular news app has been aggressively promoting articles from left-leaning news outlets, even as it all but shuts down posts from more conservative publications. The Media Research Center did a study and analyzed a total of 620 stories that were featured by Apple News in high-traffic morning time slots between January 1st and January 31st. The Apple News feed is a mixture of stories curated by a team of in-house editors and some by algorithm. Of the 620 stories, 440 came from outlets that are rated as left-leaning, while the remaining 180 were published by centrist outlets, meaning that outlets that are considered right-leaning, including the Post, the New York Post, were shut out entirely.
Completely.
So I look at this, and we were talking before we went on the air today, and we've talked about it before, about these different high schools that are having walkouts in support of ICE.
Right.
And we had one in our own backyard, Turpin High School. Then a few days later, we had Walnut Hills High School. Now we had a really big public school, Princeton High School.
With horrific test results, I might add. The reason they're going to school, I can't.
Well, they can't read. The kids who can read, though, I would imagine a lot of them get their news from a news feed like Apple News.
Probably.
And so when all they're getting is biased stories, and look, I'm not calling for any left-leaning, the Daily Kos, Mother Jones, the Hill. I'm not calling for any of those sites to be shut down. They are definitely left-leaning, and they definitely have a liberal bias, and that's fine. They can let them compete in the arena of ideas. But when you've got, I would imagine that a good number of these kids get their news from Apple News, and it's no wonder they do idiotic things like this, the ones that can read, that go out and talk about, ICE isn't welcome here, and we're anti-ICE. We're really dumb high school kids, and we want to be on TV and have people pay attention to us.
I need to correct you on one thing. You said they're really dumb high school kids? No, sir. They're really, really dumb high school kids.
Really dumb.
Really, really dumb. Because if you look at the test results, especially of Princeton High School, it's abysmal.
Yeah.
And any school, and I gotta say something.
The fact that any school allows it to happen
is abhorrent to me.
Yes.
Because you know what?
I don't care where it is.
My tax dollars, I'm told, let me point something else out, because we have something else that happened today or yesterday, and we're going to talk about it. And I don't want to, if you don't want to segue into it now, but what is the whole thing we see that we heard about, that I hear constantly whenever there's a levy on the ballot? First of all, and levy is tax in other jurisdictions. It's just, we call them levies here, but school taxes, and they're like, we don't have enough money. We don't have enough money. You look at administration's usually bloated. The teachers unions are wildly liberal. There's story after story on that, and they take their dues and they support wildly left candidates. But on top of that, we're told, you know what, we gotta harden these schools. These schools are targets, and we have to harden these schools, and the kids have to be safe. So we got buzz doors and hardened doors and hardened entries, and I'm cool with all that. But then what does that very same school do? They say, they open the doors. They open the doors during school hours, and they say, we're going to let these kids go walk outside because that's their First Amendment right. No, sir. No, sir. Not when my tax dollars are being pay for that facility to be educating those kids, that then you're going to stick your hand further up my rectum and grab more of my tax dollars so that those kids can what? Because you agree with that cause of that day. What if it was the kids were going out to march, I don't know, to celebrate Reagan's birthday or Donald Trump's birthday or something like that the teachers would find totally abhorrent? Do you think they would then let those kids walk out of class?
They might have a problem with that.
Might have a problem with that.
Might have a problem.
Because the teachers
because
a lot of the teachers subscribe to that liberal mentality, and they're like, you know what, this will be cool. And I've noticed that they've been putting this on, and maybe it's my feed, maybe it's the algorithm. It's like they're every couple of days a different school, and so I'll trust WCPO or the Inquirer or some other news, and they put out there, it's not even local news. They're like, a bunch of kids.
The same Inquirer that refers to you as a purveyor of false information.
That's correct.
Okay.
But I mean, anyway.
But you bring up a great fucking point. 9 killed. And this is just the article that I got this morning.
Right.
9 killed in a shooting at a school
in Canada.
Right. British Columbia.
Right.
Tumbler Ridge.
It's like north of Vancouver, like out in the middle of nowhere, kind of, sort of.
And our buddy Tyler, who listens to this podcast, is a Canadian. I don't know how close he is. I have no idea.
Tyler's a Canadian?
Yeah.
Take off. Hoser.
But Canada was reeling on Wednesday, a day after a shooter killed 9 people and injured 25 others in a remote town in northeastern British Columbia. The third deadliest shooting in the country's history. So to your point, you're going to let
Right.
here locally, you're going to let all these fucking kids go out and be
Targets.
exactly.
Let's just call it what it is. If they're not in class, we see video after video, and don't get me wrong, schools should be hard, and they should be hard to get into a school for someone with malintent. Okay, but what does it say when that same administration, the same people, they're like, oh, but we believe in this cause, so let the kids go march outside because that's our First Amendment rights. Meanwhile, my tax dollars are paying for some teacher to sit inside waving their gay pride flag while the kids are outside freaking sitting there protesting because they're like, oh, look at that. That's so great. And then they quote, no disrespect to the student, because I'm not going to mention her name. But then they quote some kid at Princeton, and she's like, it's like Sarah Baker Jaker. So it's some hyphenated name. I'm like, oh, great. She's a hyphenator. Go figure, right? And she's like, oh, we didn't, it was just, it wasn't peer pressure. We just think it's not right. Let me tell you something. When I was in high school, I had two thoughts. You know what they were?
Lunch.
No,
Recess.
I was thin in high school.
It was lunch.
I
at
was
some
thin
point.
in high school, so it was not lunch.
You were probably watching the clock, hoping the day would end so you get the hell out of there.
I had two thoughts in high school.
Okay.
Number one,
Girls,
chicks,
Well,
and zits, and how to keep the zits off my face, and how to somehow think that I could find game with some chicks, and that was it. I didn't worry myself with political stuff because the teachers back then, at least to my knowledge and my recollection, weren't over there going, gosh, isn't it terrible what's happening in the world today? We should go outside and march because that's going to make a difference, Billy.
right. Right.
Seriously.
No, when I was, I could probably think back on the teachers that I had when I was in high school and tell you what their politics were at the time. But when I was in high school, we didn't talk about stuff like that.
No,
we had more important fish. We had bigger fish to fry,
like zits and chicks.
Yeah, well, yeah. I mean, but we had to read books.
And while you were in class, you actually talked about American history. Instead of erasing it, you talked about it.
Yeah. Now, if there was a big news event that was worthy of discussion, then we would spend some time talking about that. But we certainly never got to the point to where we had to get motivated to feel like, well, we've got to take a stand. We've got to watch out. We got to march out of here.
People care about our opinion because we're 14, 15 years old.
No, back then people were to say, look, you're a high school kid.
Get your ass back.
Back in class.
If you come out of class, you're going to get attention or some sort of punishment.
Yeah.
But these days,
fine, you got something to say, then say it. But we don't give a shit what you say.
These days, what the difference nowadays is that the teachers that through their unions and with their unions, the liberal teachers. I'm not throwing all teachers on the bus because a lot of teachers are good people. Sadly, their union is not. And these people then say, "Oh, look at that! Let's use these useful idiots." The children as tools to promote our agenda, which is if Donald Trump does it, it's bad. So we got to be against it because he won at the polls and we're pissed off about that. So we got to just have a shit fest every day of the week and twice on Sunday about something or other. And you know what? So they're still they're walking out over ICE, but in Minnesota, where this all started because of Tampon Tim and the freaking mayor not cooperating with ICE, look what happens once they do cooperate with ICE. Things get quiet. Law and order is restored. ICE is doing their job.
Yeah, you haven't seen a single headline about Minneapolis.
That's right. You have not because it's gone away. And I'll tell you what.
And what does it tell you, though, that Tom Homan went in there, had a meeting with these guys, laid down the law, said this is how it's gonna happen.
Kismet.
And so they acquiesced to his terms, and that tells you that the whole thing, pretty good. It didn't have to happen.
Let me tell you, and it's happening here in Ohio. It is happening here in Ohio because I know guys that work with ICE, here in Ohio, and they're in Columbus, and they're trying to do their jobs, and they're not getting a whole lot of support from some of the Columbus administration.
Yeah,
because Columbus is a sanctuary city.
Yeah.
And the guy's like, you know what? We're going around them. We're doing this. We're doing that. We have psyops. We're doing distractions. But if they had more help with law enforcement here in Ohio, they'd be able to do an easier and better job.
But how weird? You sent me this. But how weird is this? With every school shooting,
another school shooting,
we're seeing these pictures.
Oh, for God's sake!
Another school shooting. And listen,
a in quotes female suspect.
well, yes, in quotes.
And it says, does this look like a woman to you? And maybe it is. I would bet a month's paychecks that it's not.
It's a guy that
Right.
was turning into a woman. I've seen pictures of him shooting at a gun range. There's video of him shooting.
Yeah.
And there's also video of him as
That's why I will make the bets that I can win.
I know. And the sad thing is here is, Canada, hey, Tyler, more power to you. A lot of great people in Canada. I hope Alberta votes to go with the United States. But at the end of the day, Canada, you're getting what you vote for. And
yeah.
I don't know. Does he have to say, since he tried to make a joke there, same build as me? I don't know. I don't see it. I mean, do I have a waddle that big? Is my waddle that large?
I don't think it's that big.
Is it that big?
I mean, it's getting there. It's getting there, but
same build as Pat.
But you're also like 40 years older.
I 40.
You earned it.
Probably 50.
You earned it.
It's okay. I love the joke. You're a funny guy. You should do stand up. But at the end of the day, yet another news story, and as tragic. Don't get me wrong. This is a different country. It's not going. It probably shouldn't stay in the news here in the United States for very long. But they're gonna scoot this one. If that was let me just ask you guys this: if that was a guy in a MAGA shirt, driving a pickup with an American flag or a Canadian flag in the parking lot, right? Terrible. And it shot it. What would that be? The news would be all over it, right? But the Canadian police did a news conference, and they frickin' referred to the guy as a gun person. I'm sorry, a gun man or a gun person? I've never heard of a gun. You've been around. Have you ever heard of a gun person? I mean, what's a gun person?
No, it's usually gunman or gun woman.
Well, I've never heard of gun woman.
I've heard gun woman.
The gunman, right? It's a gun. It's a word.
But then you get. But see, and that's why they started changing it, because they were getting.
No, because Canada's messed up. Canada.
Well, it's even
here. We're messed up. We're messed up here too.
Canada's but Canada's like Canada's what the United States is trying to avoid becoming. Canada is they have resources upon resources, great wilderness. I mean, the country is ripe for not development, because kind of who wants to live there in the wintertime. But I mean, my point is, it's got vast natural resources.
Oh, the resources are amazing.
But the Canadians have kneecapped themselves. Mm-hmm. It's called pectorals. You might want to hit the gym, buddy. I mean, pectorals. They're not titties, they're pectorals. But the fact that you're looking at my breasts causes me some concern. So you might. I mean, I don't know which one. You might want to go see a therapist.
Well, I mean, I think all of us deserve probably a good therapy session.
Oh, I don't know. I think
but some of us more than others.
I think 513 could fill a whole wing. Feel like, yeah, he's fucked up.
Oh, he's fucked up.
He's just fucked up.
Hey, so I pulled this story on this sheriff from North Carolina. And we'll hit the Guthrie stuff at the end, but I pulled this and I thought it was funny in the fact. Just scrolling through, I got done with the Zoom meeting this morning. I was scrolling through. I was like, "Are you fucking?" I just saw the headline, so I was like, "All right, I'm intrigued." So I started diving into it. Well, then hit social media, and Dan Bongino fucking hit it perfect to where versus me reading this story. But GOP lawmaker shocked after anti-ICE sheriff was stumped by a 5th grade civics question, which I kind of sat there and thought about it, and I was like, would I know the answer before I even knew what the question was? Would I know the answer? Because it's been a long time since I've been through civics, but I understand how it all goes. And I quizzed myself. Let me get rid of this.
Self-quizzed?
I self-quizzed. And I was actually correct. But I was like, oh, fuck it. Am I going to be right? But this guy's a sheriff. I'm just a low-life.
Which is an elected official.
I'm just a low-life public servant, right? So, but I'll get rid of that headline and let me pull this up. This fucking video is awesome. Gives it so much more justice. And I love anyway.
For all the wrong reasons. If you haven't seen this cut, get ready for like serious 100 out of 100 on the cringe scale.
What branch of government do you operate under, Sheriff?
Constitution of the United States.
Correct. That is what establishes the branches of government. I'm asking which branch you fall under.
Mecklenburg County. I'm a duly sworn Mecklenburg County Sheriff. We answer to the people of Mecklenburg County.
This was
not
not where
wrong.
I was anticipating getting stuck. Are you
Is that
aware of
Georgia
how many
or
branches of government there are?
Carolina?
Carolina.
No.
For the sake of debate, I will move on and say there are 3 branches of government: legislative, executive, judicial. Of those 3, which do you believe you fall under?
I believe I fall under the last one,
Would you say it to me?
judicial.
You are incorrect, sir. You fall under the executive.
Got a lot of stars.
Guys, ladies, it's not like he just gets the first question wrong. He just continues to double down. I don't like pylons. I really don't. I try to avoid them. No, you got to know, at least get one of them right. Do better. Just do better.
Do better.
This clip went nuclear for all the wrong reasons.
So Mecklenburg County is in North Carolina, a very big organization. And the fact that that motherfucker had no idea.
It's an elected position, though.
I understand
Yeah,
it.
I know.
He's going to
That's-
get. My point is, guess what? He's probably going to get reelected. pretty
That's a
easily.
reflection on the
The
people
voters.
who voted him in the office.
Yes.
That's right. That's
And-
my point.
And
You
it
know?
goes back to elections
Have
have
consequences.
consequences.
And the sheriffs all over, and most people don't understand that sheriffs, it's a unique law enforcement position in that they are elected by the people. And that's why, like we have a sheriff here in Hamilton County who we're kind of not great upon. but
Loses guns, cars. Yeah,
loses
whatever.
her gun twice.
Yeah, whatever.
Cars get stolen, I think twice. But also,
Oh, by the way, she's on the podcast next week.
oh, right.
I'm kidding.
But I like Sheriff Jones, and he will continue to get reelected because Sheriff Jones.
But he stands by his shit, and he's actually intelligent and knows his shit. He might be a hillbilly and say some shit that's not politically correct and whatever.
He's definitely not politically correct.
No, he's definitely not. But he's knowledgeable in the position that he holds,
He is,
and he knows what his rights are as that position.
Yeah, and he takes no shit, and he remembers that jail is not a place
So
you want to be.
So this numbnuts who got fucking voted in,
Yep.
had no fucking
He had
clue.
did you see the number of stars on his lapels? On his
Yeah,
4
it's-
stars.
Yeah, it's like every fucking
pretty good.
sheriff. It's every sheriff in the fucking country.
He's a 4-star sheriff.
4-star sheriff.
It's like Pat.
Means you're the boss.
He's like Pat, and he's probably got a car with red flags on it. with those circles.
But no, I mean, it's just it's so ignorant. When I saw that, I was like, "Are you shitting me?" But then I questioned myself, but I'm like, "No,
You're like, wait a second, which one?
let me make sure."
Did you answer the question correctly?
I did answer the question correctly.
Excellent. You didn't cheat.
I was by myself, but yes,
Dear self.
dear self,
Did you? Was it like one of those? Like when you're on?
I didn't even Google it.
press 1.
Well, shit. Hopefully, we'll get to a point where we don't have to press 1 for Spanish and 2 for English.
But I did like the part where he said he answers to the people of Mecklenburg County.
That he
That's
does.
fine.
It wasn't responsive to the direct question, but I thought that was
But there was a direct question that was
a good
directed
way
to-
to look at things.
No, that's
So,
exactly
yeah.
well, and he answers to, his his stakeholders. I understand that, but when you're asked how many branches of government do we have, and
You should
you got to know that.
you should know the
I'm
3.
sorry, you have to.
You got the straps.
Uh,
You got the cups.
I like the fact that he was like Constitution. He was like, no, that defines
The hooks are in the back.
the branches. But
I remember when Ocasio-Cortez was asked that question,
oh shit,
and she said, "You've got what'd she say?" You
she's
got-
like, how do you make a kamikaze? Okay, yeah, it's triple sec, it's this, it's that, whatever.
She said she was asked what the 3 branches of government were. She said, "Well, you got the White House, you've got the House of Representatives, and the Senate." So she was.
Well, you know what? Ocasio, Alejandra, her.
I think she gives better answers to those questions now. So she's at
Well-
least she was able to learn that.
I hope so. She's been there long enough. I
Right.
hope she's learned something.
If she didn't have some staffer like having like just linguistic fucking classes going,
Yeah.
okay, here's what you're going to say here. Here's what you're going to say here.
She's something. She's something, but she's got another. You know, the sad thing is that in those districts like hers, you are going to you're going to keep getting reelected and reelected and reelected. So you know what? You don't really have there's no cause for you to get better.
Well, here, let's
keep electing the inadequate.
Let's hit this story real quick. There's a lot of shit to unpack as far as, and we don't know it yet, so we'll continue to unpack it. But obviously, the Nancy Guthrie disappearance. Last night was just nothing but a treasure trove of news, in quotes, for the listeners. I'm throwing air quotes out there, where we're sitting there watching, and they released the video of the Nest camera. I have Ring, so I always want to say Ring camera, but you see this picture, dude in a
ski mask.
You guys have already seen it, so
Yeah.
don't look over here. But ski mask at the front door.
Ad nauseum.
Yeah, and we were talking about it right before he went on the air. Like Fox just pushed it. I went over to CNN. They were doing the exact same thing. Was it MS Now or M Snow, as we'll call it? They were doing the same shit. They were playing the same videos, but all the SWAT vans, all the mobile command centers were moving to, what was it, like 58 miles south. They had somebody in custody. They were bringing him back for questioning. Well, obviously, if you've watched the news at all today, they released that person.
Yeah.
But supposedly they got more shit. But this is like, it's going on and on.
How many days has it been now?
Today, I think, is 11.
God, that's just...
Hopefully I'm not wrong there, but I think it's 11. But we would be dumb to not at least have a quick conversation about it, just because it's everywhere. Like how weird this situation is.
It's odd. It is odd.
And we've asked, and I've talked to other people, why Savannah Guthrie's mom was a big question, first and foremost, because it could have been multiple other people's parents if they had them around. Other types, I'm going to call them headline news anchors, whether it be a Hannity, Laura Ingraham, or whoever, or go Scarborough, which we're going to hit here shortly. It could have been any of them because they're all making good money.
Mm-hmm.
So if you want to pull money out of somebody that's making it, and you want to kidnap their, one of their parents, it's just very strange and weird the way this is coming about. So I want your guys' opinion as we're here live. Alive or dead? Do you think she's still living, or do you think she's dead?
My wife has thought from the very beginning that she's no longer with us. I don't know. I look at this and I wonder, the family has to know more than what we know, and they have to know more than what they're letting on, I think. I hope she's not. I hope I'm hoping that best case scenario that she gets returned to her family and she's able to live out the rest of her life in peace and comfort. But at this point, I just don't know.
It's just so strange. And it's, when you sit there, we're, I think, 11 days, like I said. I believe that's correct. But you have this, and then today earlier, you get the call for the founder of TMZ got an email to throw one Bitcoin, and we'll give you information, which that one Bitcoin was going to be, what we say it was going to be like
$55,000.
But I think
less than the reward.
Yeah, it was less than the reward. I can't remember numbers exactly, but it was less than a reward. So it's like, well, why wouldn't you just go into the reward?
They asked TMZ to provide the Bitcoin.
No, he got an email.
TMZ got the email. I don't know who they were.
Oh, they wanted Bitcoin from the family.
Yes.
I don't know. Yeah, it wasn't very. The story wasn't really clear on that, whether they were asking it from. But
they wanted one Bitcoin from the family.
Yeah.
to give information.
They
But
said they
that
knew.
email went to TMZ.
Yeah, they said they knew who the name of the kidnapper was.
And they backed it up. They backed it up with
there was an account
yeah,
and and they gave an email address,
which
I think it was 513@AOL.com or something like that. I'm not sure. Maybe you might want to check that. But at the end of the day, so they're deleting his email address as we speak.
But
not me.
But no, I mean the whole situation is just so like it's so fucked up. But then last night it was everything was halt everything. We're stopping every show on Fox, and we're gonna have these live. Trace Gallagher, and then you had I can't remember the British guy who was at a different different place. I think down where the actual SWAT vans were, and I'm like, what do we know? And granted, the news isn't going to tell us everything. To Dan's point, they know more shit than we do. But then all of a sudden you hear, this morning after I wake up, they release whoever they were detaining. So all of a sudden now this poor motherfucker, if he is innocent, is now like part of it. Now he's tied into it. Like, well, shit.
I mean,
what if I need another job?
Well, I mean, look,
because that name's going to get out. That name is
the dude in the video, whether he kidnapped her or not, was certainly acting in a very creepy manner. I mean, you've got
you mean the guy at the front door?
Yeah,
well, I'm sure there's no doubt that he had something to do.
I thought it was a little presumptuous of Fox News later in the day to say that this was the suspect. I know he was referred to as a suspect, but they sort of referred to him as the guy that actually did the kidnapping. And I'm thinking, well, we don't know that yet.
No, we don't. But I mean, he had to be involved. Yeah. I mean,
I mean, we don't know. I mean, but just the behavior on the front porch
was weird.
Very weird.
It was weird.
I mean, I know there are individuals who carry concealed carry with a holster that's like under your pants. But for him to have a gun holstered on the outside of his pants like that,
right?
I thought that was a little bit different. I'm not sure what that was about.
Well, and all the law enforcement people were looking at it, and they're like, "Yeah, that's fine."
I guess what your takeaway,
I mean, how many people in Arizona walk around with a ski mask on and gloves and a jacket and a backpack? I mean,
it might have been cold.
It might have been. Well, and
it's a dry heat. My deal is my only takeaway is, first of all, I hope she's okay. She's 83,
84.
Yeah.
So, that's a lot. And I hope she's okay. My only deal is, judging from the video, from watching it, I didn't watch it too much, but everything I saw about it, like when he tries to put the little bushes or whatever, the little weeds in front of the camera.
No idea what the fuck that was.
He didn't look. My point is, he didn't look like he was a consummate professional.
No, I mean that part to trying to defeat the Ring doorbell camera with some shrubbery,
a sprig of rosemary.
From I didn't know what it was. When I first saw it, I thought it was Christmas lights. I didn't know what it was.
That would be me leaving the swim club, going to go take a shit in your front yard just to fuck with you, and trying to hold fucking shrubbery over
the camera.
Like that's how good that is.
But my point is, so what that leads me, and trust me, this is wild speculation, but that leads me to believe that it's some dude, obviously, that said, this is an easy mark. We know the family. We know that they don't have, that they have money, and I need money, so I'm going to go kidnap the mom. And it leads me away from like I think a drug cartel would have hired somebody or had somebody more professional.
Right. It's just so obscure, like where she lives. Like you're and Jill used to live in Arizona.
Oh, really?
And she was like looking at it. She goes, "Oh yeah, that's like boonies." But you have money, you have a nice house. I mean, it looked like a very nice house.
Well, they're asking for what, $6 million in.
But I think it's got to be someone that is either obsessed with or a stalker of or a huge fan of Savannah Guthrie.
Does she have stalkers? I guess everyone has stalkers.
I mean, I know a lot of the females that I used to work with in TV. A number of them had stalkers right here in Cincinnati. So local TV people have them. I'm sure.
Pappas, you didn't have any stalkers?
I have stalkers now. I mean,
not the same though.
Yeah.
No, it's not the same. And actually,
they follow you to the International House of Pancakes.
They do. They do.
But no, I would say, I'm curious if, and I haven't heard that angle talked about a lot, if Savannah Guthrie has given them any information on any stalkers that she's had in her past. Because, look, I could not have picked Savannah Guthrie's mom out of a lineup.
No,
I mean,
absolutely
there's no
not.
way. But I know she's been on TV with her a number of times in the past.
But that's why it's so weird.
So
that
it would have to
her.
be someone who knows, who watches Savannah Guthrie on a regular basis, knows that was her mom, and knows that Savannah Guthrie probably pulls down, I would guess, as a morning host on the NBC show, somewhere in the neighborhood of $15 million a year. Maybe. I'm just guessing that's
spitballing that one.
But I know she makes in the millions, and as a host on that, she's been there for a number of years. I would guess that her salary is somewhere in the area of $15 million a year.
I'll tell you this.
Maybe a little bit more than that. Maybe a lot more than that. I mean, maybe I'm totally mistaken.
I could walk past Savannah Guthrie anywhere in the United States and not pick her out of a crowd. So I don't know her at all.
Roughly 8 million.
8 million.
So I don't know her at all, but that that doesn't mean that
she's getting rich. She's a better agent.
She call Dan.
And I mean, it's not, and that's not fact checked. I mean, it's just a quick Google search. But
so
I thought it'd be more, to be honest with you.
Maybe she does have. I'm sure everybody has their groupies or whatever, but it just strikes me the more that I see about this, and I hope it comes to a conclusion. But it's somebody needed some jack quickly and said this is an easy score. Let's go kidnap her mom.
And this is obviously hitting the news hard here over the last 10 days. So we would be apropos to not at least.
And the news is obsessed with it. And I mean, it's terrible that they are. I mean, it's a horrible situation. And I hope that the family finds some closure here sooner rather than later.
Do you want to go here or where you want to go?
No, I sent a couple of videos to Jason. Let's go. Let's do the Joe Scarborough one.
Yeah, this one.
This is Joe Scarborough, and I believe the cut is from 2003, if I'm not mistaken.
It's almost unrecognizable.
Yeah.
Oh,
and
shit. That's
so there's a big debate right now going on about the SAVE Act, voter ID. I think it's
this one falls into the other one.
I think it's fairly well established that the Democrats want illegals flooding the country so they can number one, get to the polls, and then number two, change the demographic makebackup so they can have
they can maintain representation
voting districts that favor libtard Democrats.
That is correct.
But Joe Scarborough
country.
In 2003, I mean, it's amazing now how he is so wedded to the leftist orthodoxy that he really prevents himself from telling the truth. But in his early days at MSNBC, he was a guy who spoke the truth as he saw it. And this is what it sounded like back in 2003. Listen to this.
Tonight on Scarborough Country, a bill approved by the state of California giving illegal immigrants driver's licenses. Is this a desperate move by Democrats to keep Gray Davis in office at the expense of national security? Tonight, we look at the left coast's most endangered politician, Governor Gray Davis, and his Democratic Party's latest attempts to show illegal aliens that crime pays. The Democratic legislature has actually passed a bill out of committee that allows illegal immigrants to get a California's driver's license. That's right. And by giving these criminals the most accepted form of identification in America, the California Democrats buy votes for themselves. And it looks like, to me at least, that political gamemanship is trumping national security. As illegal immigrants are given a free pass, this plan seems to me to legitimize illegal immigration once and for all. And it's dangerous, and it owes more to winning votes for politicians than keeping our country safe from future terror attacks. It's frightening, folks. Aren't we sending a message to illegal immigrants? Break our laws, come into our country, flood over the borders, and we're going to reward you by giving you a driver's license. They're breaking the law. It's that simple. If you break the law, you shouldn't get a driver's license. You shouldn't be in our country. Now, if you want your voice heard on this issue, you can send a note to Governor Gray Davis and tell him if this bill crosses his desk, he should veto it.
It's hard to imagine that if there was a worse governor than Gavin Newsom, Gray Davis was probably it.
Probably it.
But listen to what Joe Scarborough is saying. Joe Scarborough is making the exact same arguments that me or Pappas or Kiefer would make right now.
What would he say? What would he say today to his past self?
Oh, here, hold on.
Seriously, what would he say?
No, that's a good question. What would he say? Because he
say?
certainly wouldn't be saying that.
Well, here, it rolls into the other one that you fucking sent me from 22. Like, you didn't send it to me in 22, but when they were talking,
another Joe Scarborough.
Yeah, when they were talking about fucking Georgia.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Let's talk about Georgia.
That fucking, but
Georgia.
But it all rolls in to where the whole mindset fucking changed, and why.
But during that rant right there, he said, coming into the country, you're already breaking the law.
No question.
Coming into the country illegally is breaking the law.
You're rewarding
and
criminals.
So much of the left argument now is that, oh, well, they just came in illegally. That's not really breaking the law. That's not really, they're not really doing anything to hurt anyone. It's not illegal.
Do you remember sending this to me?
Yeah, I remember
about Stacey Abrams.
Listen. Oh,
this fucking rolls in perfect.
This is fantastic on Stacey Abrams.
2 days before
voting
ended in Georgia, we called and said, how's Georgia going to end up? Stacey Abrams, when it was looking bad for Biden, she goes,
2022.
He's going to win by about 10,000, 11,000 votes. And I'm like, okay, well, that's a little, you don't have to show. I'm like, that's a little too specific. 2 or 3 days later, Biden won by 10, 11. And I said, oh my God, I've never seen anybody with a state wired like Stacey Abrams. She may have lost. She lost.
Wired.
We understand that. But talk about how she put Georgia on the map for Democrats.
The infrastructure that the New Georgia Project, led by Stacey Abrams, built is the infrastructure, along with the investments from the Democratic National Committee. If you talk to Jamie Harrison, he'll tell you they gave real money to Georgia this cycle. The DSCC gave real money to Georgia. The work that Stacey Abrams did is the reason that Georgia was in play in 20, is in play right now, will continue to be in play for the cycles to come.
Anytime you see Ossoff and Warnock and Biden in Washington, you're looking at the work of Stacey Abrams.
He's going to win by about 10,000.
So, Pappas, what is the likelihood that Stacey Abrams could call within literally a couple of thousand votes, one way or the other, the difference was going to be in the entire state of Georgia in a presidential election? And Joe Scarborough is talking about, well, she said this 3 days ahead of time.
Yeah, two days before counting stopped in Georgia, and while Trump was winning.
Right,
yeah.
And the difference is that they're chalking this up to she's really dialed in and she knows the pulse of the state and she's really good and she's smart.
No, she's dialed into the fraud.
That's exactly my
That's
point.
what she's dialed into.
That's
and then
exactly anyone's.
And then after Biden gets in office, she does what? She creates this phony baloney non-governmental organization.
How much money did she get?
Well, the organization initially had, I think, $100 in the bank.
No, but how much did Joe Biden try to give them?
I believe the number was $2 billion.
Yeah, on the waning days of his administration, $2 billion.
$2 billion.
Now Trump stopped it. Trump's put a stop to it. That was one of the first things
they didn't get it out the door fast enough.
But Biden was tossing money in the furnace like a fiend as he was leaving office. Right. And people forget about that. But no, especially now, coupled with the reports we're seeing of the anomalies. I just saw a different story today. The FBI said there's a lot of anomalies that are coming out of examining the Georgia elections.
I've got it right here. The FBI has substantiated some major irregularities in how votes were counted in Georgia, Georgia's largest urban area, in the aftermath of the 2020 election, and is probing whether those failures were intentional efforts to violate federal election law.
No.
FBI Special Agent Hugh Raymond first filed the affidavit last month to establish probable cause for the raid that seized about 700 boxes of Georgia's 2020 election ballots. And have you seen all the local officials out there that are having a conniption over that? We want our boxes back.
Why do you want?
Why take our boxes?
Why do you need your boxes back? Are you going to recycle?
Good question. Yeah,
I mean, they'll recycle them.
Let's see. The affidavit included information gleaned from FBI interviews with about a dozen unnamed witnesses recounting various allegations that date back to the disputed 2020 election in Georgia, in which Joe Biden was narrowly declared the winner over Donald Trump.
I want to know why they're unnamed witnesses.
Well, at this point, it's an investigation, so they're not. But this is just an affidavit that was filed by this guy, and I can't read the rest of it because my computer's locked up. I can't scroll right now.
Well, but I mean, here's the deal. Be like me, it's makes about as much sense as me saying in Ohio.
It's a fucking Obama computer.
Let me tell you something. If I was able to sit there and say in Ohio that Vivek Ramaswamy would win by 5,500 votes or whatever, some obscure number, right? Because Georgia has a lot of people. When you start getting down to the 10,000 range,
that's Atlanta. That's a major city, a major urban area.
That is a really specific number for a big that somebody should not know that, right?
Especially 2 days prior.
Unless, as Dan said, and I agree with, unless you already knew the results ahead of time, like the books were cooked.
Here are the irregularities that are being investigated. Fulton County has admitted it does not have scanned images of all 528,777 ballots counted during the original count, or 527,925 ballots counting during the state's first recount. That is a loss of major evidence. So that is a difference of 528 over 1,000 ballots. Fulton County has confirmed that during the recount of votes, some ballots were scanned multiple times.
Counted twice?
Weird. Multiple times.
Counted more than twice?
Ballot images made available in response to public records show ballots with unique markings duplicated within the ballot images. During the risk-limiting audit, auditors counting the votes by hand reported vote tallies for batches inconsistent with the actual votes within the batch. Auditors assisting in the risk-limiting audit reported counting purported absentee ballots that never had been creased or folded, as would be required for the ballot to be mailed to the voter and for the ballot to be returned in a sealed envelope.
Yeah, that just means you can't put...
requiring the voter's signature for authentication.
Right. You can't fold... If it's not folded, it never was stuck in an envelope, which means that it wasn't... It means that it's not... it's suspect because it has to be sealed and mailed. And if it wasn't, how is it put into the count if there's no crease in the paper?
So this is just Atlanta. This is just Fulton County.
Oh, it's got to be
horrible.
So
they've got multiple vectors of fraud here. Plus, the Board of Elections there in Fulton County has admitted that they had over 320,000 votes that should never have been certified.
Yes,
because they didn't have the proper chain of custody.
And the margin of error and the margin of victory was much less than that.
Absolutely.
So it never should have been certified. But at the end of the day, okay, everyone's like, well, it's water under the bridge. Well, I just don't want to see it happen again. That's the whole thing.
Yeah, it's water under the bridge, but we know it's fucked up. So let's fix it.
So to put it succinctly, Democrats brought in all these illegal aliens to bolster the numbers for the census, which determines representation, how House seats are allocated. And a lot of people don't think it's right. And I'm one of them. I don't think illegal aliens should be counted in the census. Not. Because that's not really what the intent was at the time. It was not, we didn't have the illegal alien problem, but if you look at the verbiage, it's not what it says. But that aside, one very simple thing that they're trying to do in the House right now, and I hope John Thune stays firm. He's indicated that he's going to. It passed out of the House, I think, by very few votes. The margin was close. It's now going to go to the Senate, and I think that he has to hold firm and insist on, as I said, a standing filibuster, not this virtual filibuster like I'm speaking when you're really not. And it'll probably delay it about 30 days. I think that's the most they could delay it before they force a vote. Hopefully J.D. Vance goes in there. It was a tie-breaking vote. I think I saw the idiot from Alaska. What's her name? Murkowski.
Oh my God.
She said she wasn't a fan of it.
Fucking damn. Oh my God.
Look, I would like, and as you ask any human being, anybody, I'd ask the audience, ask your family, ask everybody you know. I think you're going to find it reflective of what's in the public. 75 to 80% of the people, Americans that have been surveyed, have said they don't think it's onerous to provide a driver's license. And I think something else. I think it's incredibly racist for people to say that this is somehow race driven because it's onerous. It puts a undue burden on minority, black, Asian, black, brown, whatever, black, brown people to get a driver's license. Do you know how offensive that is? Do you know how absolutely offensive that is? Does that mean that every minority doesn't drive a car? Because last I checked, you're required to have a driver's license to drive a car. Is that correct?
Yeah.
Okay.
As far as I know.
How many times have you flown and you've seen, I don't know, people of color, minorities on the plane?
Lots of times.
Well, last I checked, you have to have, to get through TSA, what do you need?
You need a shit ton of documentation,
You need
at least a
driver's
license.
And you need now the new secure driver's license, which is even a little bit more difficult.
Which they gave you 10
Well,
years.
now
to-
the thing is,
they gave you
saying-
10 years to get. And
They're
if you
saying
didn't get it,
that
you're an
married
idiot.
women won't be able to obtain documentation that show their married name as opposed to their birth name.
Oh, that's not a workaround. We can't find a workaround.
That
for
is
that.
a very,
That
very
happens
high
all the time.
bar.
That's a really
It is
high
a
bar.
very. Everyone knows that almost every married
Oh my
woman in
God.
the
'Cause
country
people don't get married every day.
has a name
right?
on her birth certificate that's different from her identification.
Now I'll throw a caveat into that.
Disenfranchised.
Well, if she hyphenated,
I
it would
agree
fix
with
that.
you, but when Jill and I got married, the government was shut down, so she could not change her name because
Yeah,
nobody
well-
was working in a Social Security office. So how about we don't shut the fucking government down,
Look,
and you can make those changes very easily.
But eventually, you get a marriage license. If
eventually-
you're legitimately married in the country, you have a marriage license, and I would say, to my way of thinking, that documentation right there
I mean, look,
suits the purpose just fine.
it's a very simple way to try to, by all accounts, the vote is not as secure as it could be, and all this does is tighten it to make it more secure,
as it should,
and as it should be. I think the voting, I mean, it's nothing is more destructive to a republic to convince people that your vote doesn't count or is watered down because people that shouldn't be allowed to vote are voting. I mean, that really can destroy the confidence in any result of an election, and I think that's a very destructive.
Well, see,
thing.
but you've got far too many liberal Democrats out there who think it is really just fun and games to go and fiddle around with the election so they can get the person that they want in there.
Well, the ends always justify the means
That's
of
right.
Democrats. The ends always
because
justify
the
means of left.
agenda, promoting the agenda,
Correct.
trumps everything else.
Trumps. Did you say Trumps?
I said Trumps.
100%.
Doesn't matter. It trumps the truth. It trumps family. It trumps money.
Why are you
it
saying
trumps
Trump so much?
Because the agenda, promoting the
He's just a
agenda
right-wing Trump
is more important than anything else.
Can't you say something else other than Trump?
Well, I just said more important.
we're going to hear from our sponsor real quick, and we'll be right back.
Hi, everyone. Dan Carroll here. Time to tell you about a great new sponsor for the One More and I'm Out of Here podcast. It's Murphy Engraving. Murphy Engraving is the place to go for your business, industrial, and personal engraving needs. Take a look at the Murphy Engraving page on Facebook, and you're going to see all kinds of unique items that really seem to take on a life of their own because they've been customized with an image, a name, or a logo, and all of it just really beautifully done. The acrylic sports awards that light up are especially creative and very cool. The customized bottles of bourbon, those are my personal favorite. And wait till you see what they can do with items that are made out of wood. The next time you want to recognize someone special or you're looking for that one-of-a-kind gift, you'll be glad you checked out Murphy Engraving. And a bonus, you're supporting a local family-owned business run by brothers Brian and Kevin, who is a lifetime firefighter and Air Force vet. At Murphy Engraving, they turn the ordinary into the extraordinary, and at Murphy Engraving, we are American-made. Out of context and essentially lying during a congressional hearing.
It's okay if they lie because it's during a congressional hearing.
I know, but it's sick.
Here, why we play it?
It's sick and wrong.
So years ago, when Michelle Malkin was
God,
writing,
where is she now?
I think she's semi-retired. I see her pop up every once in a while on a podcast or a show, but she really led the way when it comes to conservative writing.
She did,
and she was one who was able to go in and research and dig out the truth of an issue before there was the wide internet access that we have today. So, I mean, a lot of people today can do what Michelle Malkin used to do, but she coined the term crap weasel. And there are certain situations where that term applies, and that term applies to Eric Swalwell.
He is an asshole.
He's an asshole and a crap weasel. And this is the reason why this bite is 25 seconds long. And this is the guy who's the Lyons is his name. And he's, you see right there, it says the Border Protection officials testified at this oversight hearing. And listen to how this goes down.
Or will you side with the killers bringing terror to our streets? Mr. Lyons, will you resign from ICE?
No, sir, I won't.
Why not?
Because, sir, that child that you're showing right there, the men and women of ICE took care of him when his father abandoned him and ran from law enforcement.
Time has expired.
You never should have gone.
Gentleman's time has expired. I recognize the gentleman from Mississippi. The guest for 5 minutes.
Okay, well, that wasn't the clip that I thought it was, but
that's what you said.
It still illustrates the point. He was showing the picture of the 5 year, and we talked about
he was
the
lying
5-year-old
about
kid.
the 5-year-old kid whose dad ran down the damn street, abandoned the child.
And then everyone said that, they put the kid in handcuffs and detained him and all
they were
this
detaining
bullshit.
the kid, which ICE was actually what would have been better for them, to leave the kid on the side of the road and just drive away?
Can I tell you, just from a fire EMS aspect, when we have a minor and we don't have a parent around, how big of a pain in the ass that is. Obviously, we're going to take care of that child, but it prolongs anything that we can do until we can actually have somebody that can take this child versus putting him into CPS.
Well, yes, yes. And so they did the right thing. They took the kid. They cared for the kid.
But the fucking left said, "Oh no!"
Oh, they said, and they ran with that. And every news media ran with that. And I'm sure 513 was like, they're taking 5-year-old kids off the streets. And I mean, that's because that's what he saw on MSNBC. So I mean, that gets back to what they're fed by the media, and like these kids in high school that are stupid because they're watching stupid programs or getting fed garbage in, garbage out. So I mean, look. Where are the people? And, I find something else. Let me say this. He's got some giant cojones because he says, will you resign, right? Will you step down? Where's the person where's Swalwell? Will you step down because you were compromised by a Chinese spy while a member of Congress? And now you see that as a resume enhancement, you're going to run for the governor.
No, he
of
doesn't have a
California.
problem with it.
You don't have any problem with that. Shut up, buddy.
But the other part of that questioning was, and there was a clip that I meant to send you, but I sent you that. But it serves a purpose.
It's the same.
But he actually read back a quote of Lyons. He read it back to him and said, "Did you not say this?" Because he was saying that we need to be as efficient as Amazon, when it comes to doing our job. And he's like, "Oh, well, you're just talking about shipping these illegals through." And he was trying to make a point that, this guy said something bad. And he said, "Well, you took my quote out of context." And he said, if you would go back,
that never happens, Dan.
At what I said, and Lyons put it in context for Swalwell. But I mean, this is how much of a jerk
he's not.
And so many of these other Democrats really are.
Chuck Schumer.
They don't care about the
Chuck
truth.
Schumer. I mean, I have a clip that I posted online. Chuck Schumer years ago said the absolute opposite of what he's saying today about illegal aliens. You know what, though? It's fine. I hope people see through it. I think as more and more people see how Congress is run, they'll see through it. And, it is what it is. Hopefully shit will work itself out.
No, they're jerks.
They're jerks.
They are.
And we could have a show.
We could do a whole show
every day. No, whole show. We could do a show every day
a whole week
of the week forever.
Here's a picture you sent me. Chuck Schumer. The number one reason people come to the U.S. illegally is to defraud systems like Social Security, and I want to stop it.
Yeah, and nothing has changed.
In 1996. Now, I had the video. I'm sorry it didn't come through. That was
30 years ago.
That was right. 1996, he has that position. Today, the complete opposite position. Not only is no one defrauding Social Security, which is bullshit, but also that, The illegals are not really illegals. They're looking for a better country. We let millions in because they're looking for a better country.
They're migrants.
They're migrants. They're migrants.
They're migrants.
Not the ones that were thrown out of the Venezuelan prisons they're committing crimes here. But listen, it's just a game with these people. It's just a game to maintain power. And you know the ones that really piss me off the worst? It's not necessarily them because they're assholes. Swallows well, asshole. Schumer, asshole. Pick most of your Democrats today. Bashir down in Kentucky, asshole. But the ones that really get me, are the freaking your neighbors that are like, and some of our viewers that are swallowing their bullshit, and then they're like, oh yeah, they're great people. They really mean it. Blah 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 blah. You're being used as a tool. And do I think every Republican means everything they say? No, I don't, because I've been in politics a long time, or long enough to know that's not true. But I don't think that we're going to sit there. I mean, we showed Scarborough flipping his position, Schumer flipping his position, all to maintain power. I don't see a whole lot of Republicans on that level of dishonesty. And for you guys to go keep supporting these people, and let me say something else. We have videos. We had the one video. You have the video queued up of the people, the two liberal ladies in Columbus, so they were I think somewhere outside a coffee shop, the way they were treating that guy, they were flipping him off. I know Dan saw it. I may not have said it to him.
No, I sent that to him too.
But
yeah.
When the fuck did you send that to?
Anyway, my point is, listen.
It was in Iowa. I said it was Flabians in Iowa.
That's right. And look, these are your neighbors. So I guess my point is, you got to get involved and you got to counter these people because they're just rabid. They are rabid.
Again, and these leftists, they don't want to argue substance.
No.
This is a guy who's essentially repeating to them verses out of the Bible.
Right.
And all they can say is, fuck you, get the fuck out of here, fuck you.
Yeah.
That's their argument. Yeah.
Now, I know that liberal women, or not liberal women, but we talked about the awfuls. And a lot of times they have ways of coping. And we have an example Jason just had up on the screen of how they cope when they don't get their way.
Well, I thought this was your Valentine's Day date.
Oh no, this is not my Valentine's Day. But
this
is how they cope.
By
the way,
this is the one that I'm showing. Your Valentine's Day.
Not my Valentine's Day.
I haven't heard this one.
We'll probably sit around and cook some soups and eat bread and desserts and just get all fat and sassy.
Just get all fat and sassy.
So when you don't get your way,
that's a great Valentine's Day right there.
That's a Valentine's Day plan. And I think that, I know of at least one local awful
God bless her
female that is now suddenly probably perusing the what's the name of that app where you swipe left or right? I can't remember. What is that called?
I don't know.
Is it Tinder?
The one that you're
on.
The
only app I have is
you're
X.
on Grindr.
Yeah, the one you're on
Grindr.
Well, here is a
Grindr.
It's before it happens.
You've been looking for a long time. You haven't found me.
And listen, guys, if you take someone to a restaurant for Valentine's, be careful because this could happen.
Whoa! Oh my God, man!
That's surprising agility for a big guy.
She is actually more round than tall.
Call 911. I can't get up.
What's the cause of the mishap there? Do we know?
I think they didn't supersize her fries.
Well, no, Tapas wasn't covering the tab. That's why. That's why she got pissed off.
Her WIC card might not have worked. I don't know. It reminds me of some of my local fans here. I think it was. That might be Kathy. It could be Erica.
I know.
It could be Jennifer.
Thank God you can outrun them.
You have many. Even
with the bad rib.
I mean, it reminds me of some of the local ladies around here. And by the way, let me just.
It might have been.
Let me make one thing. Let me just say one thing. One thing.
Because you haven't said enough.
This is a fashion. No, this is a generic. This is a public service. I would like to go out and do a public service.
Oh, Jesus.
There we go.
If we cannot control how we get as we age and eat different things, but you can control what you wear. And I think that when you're testing the textile strength of spandex to that degree, you should probably not be wearing it out in public. So there's a public comment for you. Public.
Everybody loves
fucking
fucking
that's classic.
fucking spandex pants.
until
they don't.
You know, and that is definitely a commercial for whoever manufactured said pants that they didn't split right down the middle and show you her anus.
Can we hit this real quick before we go? We're gonna come back to you probably like a week and a half.
Yeah, we got some technical but we have some
scheduling issues and some people just refuse to break some of their habits.
We all have lives outside of the
but
podcast.
It's good. But I wanted to pull this up. I saw this Boomer Esiason, former Bengal quarterback, talking about after the Super Bowl and the jock tax in California and how fucked Sam Darnold, who is fifth team, first time Super Bowl winner. Yeah. And it's not just all about Sam Darnold, but
it's an example. It shows
you have these players that are making millions of dollars, and that's and one of the posts that I saw was, it doesn't matter, they're making millions of dollars.
It's irrelevant.
He is actually paying to be a Super Bowl champion.
Correct. It's costing him money
because they played in California. Yeah. So Boomer's whole thing is having the NFL Players Union or Association, which is a union, try to make it to where there are no more Super Bowls in California. Wow. Now, your guys' thoughts. I know SoFi is next year, which is in LA. And we talked about it right before. But what are your guys' thoughts on it?
No, I agree. I agree with Boomer 100%.
Go drink.
Nope, we said it.
The notion that an NFL player is, and I don't care if he's making $30 million a year, $50 million, whatever Sam Darnold is making, that he has to go out of pocket, that he has to write a check in order to be able to play in that game.
Right.
I mean, who knows if he had a conversation with his tax advisor before he went out there, and the tax advisor looked at him and said, "You know what? This is going to cost you $70,000 to go out there and play football."
So
how does that work? How can that possibly happen?
I didn't realize there was a video clip on it, so I'm going to play it and then we'll see.
For winning the Super Bowl, the winning team, each player gets $178,000. In other words, the Super Bowl isn't a part of their salary. And because the game was played in California, and California has a jock tax, and they look at duty days. So each team spends 7 days in the state of California. So those are 7 duty days, and they pierce your regular salary at 3.5%. So he has to pay, when you take into account he got the $178,000 plus his overall salary, he has to pay the state of California for spending 7 days there $249,000.
Yeah,
that's just so stupid.
Yeah, but it ends up costing him $71,000 to go play in California. Now, if I'm the NFLPA, and you got to remember, it's probably even more than that because since he's in Seattle, he's playing against San Francisco 49ers. That's another day he's there. And he's playing against the LA Rams. That's another day he's there. So he's probably had like 9 or 10 duty days, or maybe even more than that in the state of California.
Mm-hmm.
So if I'm the NFLPA, I'm like, hey, we're not playing any more Super Bowls in California. We're just not doing it.
It's ridiculous.
It's illustrative of out of control taxation. And, and the governor of California is actually being considered by one political party to become the presidential nominee. That would be Gavin Newsom. That would be the Democrat Party. So you can check. You got the internet, 513. Knock yourself out, buddy. You can check. You can call Boomer a liar. Say he's incorrect. Whatever.
Look up a site called shiftsovereign.com. It's like a brokerage house, and I guess they wrote an article on this, and they talk about the jock tax in California, and they talk about the state goes back in time all the way to the start of the NFL season in September, and they take their quote fair share of the player's entire salary.
It's just unbelievable
over the entire season. So they talked, like Boomer was talking about, the duty days. Okay, so both teams arrived in California last Sunday. Each player will log at least 8 duty days in the state just for the Super Bowl. Then they divide those California duty days over the entire season,
which I don't understand.
And you wind up with a percentage. If a player spends, say, 7% of his duty days in California over the season, then the state claims a right to tax 7% of your entire salary.
Yeah.
So it's not just 7% of what you earned while you were there. It's 7% of your entire salary.
Right.
At the top marginal rate of 13.3%. So that is for a guy like Sam, for a guy who's making millions like Sam Darnold, that is a huge bite. And it comes out, like Boomer said, $249,000.
Well, it just shows.
But he's out of pocket.
Right.
He's out of pocket.
It costs, yeah.
Right.
So that and plus the tax on top of the $178,000 he got for winning the Super Bowl. That's just a bonus.
But it's
so
illustrative.
that entire bonus is gone plus an additional $70,000.
So what I hope the lady that runs the Seahawks, who apparently is like all in on football and she loves it.
Yeah.
Hopefully she will come out of her fucking pocket to help some of these players.
Why?
Why would she not?
Why would she do that?
I think she absolutely should.
I think she should not, because until the players through their union, as you discussed earlier, say we're not tolerating this, we're not playing in the state of California, nothing's going to change.
Well,
California.
I see your point, but the players can still go. But the players that just won the Super Bowl can be made whole, because I think you're getting absolutely ass raped.
Listen. At the end of the day, here's
this is where you and I will disagree all day long.
We're going to disagree from this perspective. The tax should never be there in the first place, okay? And it's illustrative that taxation is theft by the government on any level. So my point to the matter is, your argument is, and I'm not dissing you, I'm just saying, well, she should pay the tax, and that'll make them whole. The tax shouldn't be there. It's the tax that's the problem.
No, I understand
it's the collection of the tax,
but she has to have the players in the union fight it. But at least she just won a Super Bowl.
I would say,
and guess what? She's getting a whole bunch of money from other fucking sponsors and everything else, that she would have the money to be able to make those guys whole.
I would tell the state of
California,
California,
the owner of the team.
Yes. I wouldn't do that.
She is way different than Mike Brown than what we know. She is way different. She is all about it.
And we haven't disagreed on anything before that I remember. But I'll say this. The fact of the matter is, if I was a player, I would tell the state of California, F off. I'm not going to California again. What are you going to do to me? They can't come to Oregon and steal. They can't come to.
Well, now you're a tax evader.
Of a state tax calculation that I find to be abhorrent and
but when you file your taxes,
I'd be of a state that I don't live in. So my point is, if I go to Kentucky and let's say I bought something in Kentucky, I haven't, please don't come, whatever. But let's just say I went to Kentucky and I bought something from somebody on eBay, and I'm supposed to report that and pay taxes to Kentucky for the tax. And I don't do that. And Kentucky sends me a bill for $10.75. I tell the state, now obviously we're talking about different numbers here, but the principle is the same. And I tell the state of Kentucky, go F yourself. I'm never going to Kentucky again. What are they going to do to me? They can't go outside of Kentucky to do something to me.
But if he's going to continue to play for Seattle, he's going to be back in California.
I'm not disagreeing with you.
It's just like Dano working in the state of Kentucky for an employer, and
he has to file both.
Potentially, I don't know how it's all set up,
which I don't.
But I'm just hypothetically, you go over to Northern Kentucky University and you do work. And you get taxed over there. Yes. Are you never setting foot in Kentucky and doing any work?
But my point is,
you're going to get hit.
But my point is that you need to make.
You can tell them to fuck off all day long. I tell people to fuck off all the time, but it doesn't necessarily work.
It's called a jock tax because they make a lot of money. These guys make a lot of money when they're there.
And it's not just
in California.
And it's
so
not just
up.
athletes. It's
they
not
would
just
look at
athletes.
you as a member of that team and say, you know what? Well, you were supposed to be here X number of days, so we're going to tax you anyway.
No, and my
even though you stayed back home in Ohio.
But it's not just athletes as well. It's artists and everything else.
Performers, right?
The difference is those guys for the Super Bowl, that Super Bowl bonus, they had to be there for 8 days.
Correct.
And his bonus just got fucking eaten up by fucking Newsom's fucking bullshit tax.
Correct. So it's the tax.
And
It's
now
the
it's-
taxation.
Yes.
It's the whole thing of the taxation is the problem. And my deal is if my annoyance, and it's not at you, but if she pays the
bring it.
tax, well, no, my point is everyone's like, oh, it's okay, she paid the tax. No, it's not okay.
It's not okay,
It's
but
not
it makes
okay.
but it makes your players feel fucking wholesome and good. You brought home a fucking Super Bowl. She brought home a lot of money for winning the Super Bowl as the owner. You figure that out on the
You're
back
just
end,
shifting-
but you make your fucking players
You're
right.
just shifting the burden of an onerous and
For a minute.
and immoral.
Yeah,
tax
for a
on
minute
somebody.
you are.
So that, but your argument. I mean, I'll play counter, and I don't think we've ever done this. Okay, so why is it okay?
Point counterpoint.
Wait,
Are we
why-
going to be here all fucking night?
No, we're
doing
not.
this?
But why is it okay? She makes a lot of. You just said something. She makes a lot of money. Well, he makes a lot of money too.
Mhm.
So, but it's okay to fuck her and not him.
Her players brought her that money. His
Okay.
play brought
She-
him that money.
But
She also decided to pay him.
She pays him that money.
I understand that. I get it. And Sam Darnold is the example only in the fact that it's his fifth team. That's why he's being called out on it, because there's 53 guys on that roster that are getting fucked.
Oh yeah. But
I actually saw a breakdown where there are some players that actually come out a little bit ahead.
Probably
Because they're all
Because
getting
they're-
dinged. They're all getting dinged by the taxes.
because their salary is not.
Yeah, because
Yeah.
they don't
Their
make
salary's
as many-
different.
They didn't have as many overall duty days there, and
He was making 37 million.
There's some that they don't all get. I mean, they all get fucked a little bit, but not
as hard.
not to this degree.
So my point is, let's discuss, and I'm not belaboring the point, but maybe I am. Let's talk about the crux of the matter here. It's that this taxation, this onerous taxation, is the example of government run amok,
Correct.
fucking people.
We definitely agree on that.
Fucking people. The only thing we disagree on is you're like, well, if she was not okay, maybe if she was nice, she would pay it. And then he'd be like, okay, but then all you're doing then is actually shifting the conversation, rewarding the state of California for being assholes, because then no one's talking about the fact that the tax
I understand,
itself,
like putting that fucking line in the sand and like, no, we're not fucking doing that.
oh, they'll have to pay it. Don't misunderstand me. I know the realities of the situation, but an individual, let's say that Sam Darnold decides tomorrow he's retiring from the NFL. Let's just say tomorrow he said, I stubbed my pinky toe and I can't play anymore. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. And he can say, I'm not setting foot in the state of California again. File a lien on me, whatever. I mean, the California can't go outside the state borders to do anything to him for a tax, as far
And
as I know.
No, and I get that. I get that part.
So I mean, I think Cincinnati. Let me say something. I think Cincinnati has something similar too.
A lot of cities in the NFL that have major league sports have a jock tax.
I think
No,
the city of
every
Cincinnati.
every professional player has to file taxes in the state that they play.
Right,
They
but-
have
but-
because of these jock taxes.
But wait a second. The city of
the thing that makes
Cincinnati.
No, it's also called income tax.
Right. And the
Right.
city of Cincinnati has a income tax in the city.
But it's a
Correct.
jock tax because they tax it at a rate of 13.3%. I mean, if you're just an average,
That's what
working
California does. I don't
and
know
you
what
gotta get-
Kansas
but-
City
but
does.
The really sick
but the
part
honest
is
part
that
is going
I can get
back
my
to
head
the-
around the idea that if you're a
Right.
highly paid athlete, you
Right.
come into my city,
I'm going to
you
charge
earn
$1
whatever
million
your game check
for
is,
the
$1 million.
game, and you get
And,
pay me a tax.
you pay a portion of that,
but
in
not
tax. I can get my
your
head
whole
around that.
year earnings.
But yeah, but to sit there and
And
say,
you two not
know
talk
what?
over each other.
No,
Let's
we're not.
enhance this a little
You're
bit and go
exactly
back
right.
and look at their overall salary.
Correct.
And say we're entitled to a portion of your overalls, not just the portion you made here
While you were here,
but the portion you made over the course of the year.
while you weren't here.
What kind of thinking is that?
It's California thinking.
But it's not just California. There's Democrats and
I want
lawmakers all over the country.
I
that
want to
look at this,
investigate
that are
this.
salivating over this and say, yeah, let's do the same thing here.
I want to
We're gonna
investigate
get
this a
more
little
money.
bit more because I don't think every state does this. So
Deep dive. We have a week.
Oh my God.
people that we know that are professional athletes that have played in other states, they just file income taxes, just regular income taxes. It's not the jock tax. It's
Yeah.
when you travel to Kansas City, you're paying that day. Your game check is getting pulled out
Right,
of
right.
whatever their tax rate is.
Right.
So the jock tax is completely different than regular income
what you wanna
tax
know
during
is-
the regular season.
What you want to know is how many other states and or municipalities have a jock tax. That's
yeah,
what you want to know.
And fuck these guys that bad, because that sucks.
Yeah,
Don't
does
misunderstand.
suck.
We agree on all of that. My problem is though,
I'm just saying, like,
who pays the tax is irrelevant in my way of thinking. The calculation of the tax is abhorrent. The fact that they're collecting the tax is abhorrent. The whole theory of the tax,
pay your taxes for working in that state.
In that state, if I get $1 million to come play pinochle here in wherever, I'm going to pay, and there's a 7% tax. I'm going to pay a 7% tax of income tax to the state. Fine. But this, what I made while I was out of the state, and you're going to say you owe me 13% of that, or whatever the calculation is I don't know. But I'm like, that's just ridiculous.
To have a pretty good former football player who has a podcast, who's very famous, Boomer Esiason, say that's bullshit. Don't go to California again.
That's big.
I think it's fucking amazing.
That's big.
And
I'd love to see
get
that
your
gain some
union.
momentum.
Get your union.
They have a
together.
good union, don't they?
Yeah.
The NFL players
NFLPA
have
is
a
very strong.
pretty good union.
Get your union together and say, guess what?
I'm sorry, mommy
We're
and
done.
daddy were fighting, but it's okay.
We'll go to Florida just like everyone else. Everyone else is leaving fucking California to go to Florida.
what?
Fucking
I
Zuckerberg
read-
just pulled all his.
That's right.
He
Zuckerberg
pulled all his shit up.
Zuckerberg moved to a island off Miami.
Everything is in Miami. Every Super Bowl is in Miami from here on out.
That's fine. I don't care.
How amazing
There you
would
go.
that be?
I love that.
That would be amazing.
Do it.
Guys, we'll get back with it. We'll have to figure out schedules. I've got an out of town event next weekend. This week just looks like shit for everybody. But
By the way, happy Valentine's Day.
happy Valentine's Day.
Can we just say,
yeah,
guys,
because
Saturday?
you fucking celebrate it.
Well, I was at Kroger today, and
Or
they
you're
had
going to
some-
keep talking.
they had some
Jesus,
candies,
fuck.
but I just want everyone to remember that Saturday is Valentine's Day.
Yes,
All
yes.
right,
Saturday's
there we go.
Valentine's Day. Jill and I are going
Fantastic.
out Friday to Jim Jeffries' comedy show. That's our early Valentine's Day,
Okay.
since I work on Valentine's Day. I will be with Jill and I are going for Kiefer Than Therapy either tomorrow or Friday, but I will be with James and Candace tomorrow night for there's a spin-off show, Two Dicks and a Chick.
Oh,
That is going to go on James's channel
which one are you?
tomorrow night. Well, yeah.
I thought that was funny.
You're fucking. Well, of course you would, because you're both fucking dumb.
Wait, can I say one more thing?
But we're going at 8 p.m. Eastern tomorrow night, and Jill and I might
James's-
go early tomorrow or Friday, but we'll let you know.
Excellent.
I just
Go
want to
ahead.
say one thing to one of our followers. 513. I don't know which hand you're buying a Valentine's card for, but just make sure you sign it correctly.